This video is for those who have already gone through the application process for Nexus card and are now waiting for the final step, interview with Border Control Officer. If you haven't started your application yet and want to learn more about Nexus program, watch our previous video about Benefits of Nexus and a step-by-step guide on how to apply. Otherwise, keep watching this video to hear real examples of questions and answers during Nexus interview. Hi folks, we're Nata and Stefa and we talk about smart travel. Okay, so the status of your Nexus application has been updated and you are invited to schedule an interview. Congratulations, you're almost there. Usually, an interview takes place in one of the US-Canada border Nexus enrollment centers. You are required to schedule the date for your interview, come on time, and bring all necessary documents with you. These include your proof of citizenship, like passport, citizenship certificate, or birth certificate, also a proof of your residency, like valid driver's license or provincial ID card with your current address. Other than that, if you have more than one passport or more than one citizenship, you will be asked to show all your current passports as well. Keep in mind that if you're applying for children, they should be present at the interview as well, even if they're infants. Also, if the child's parents are separated, make sure to bring all the paperwork and notary documents for the second parent. Before going into detail about interview questions, we would like to touch on general rules on how to behave when you're talking to a border officer. And this doesn't only refer to US or Canadian officers during Nexus interviews. This can be helpful anytime you cross the border and to any country. When asked a question, provide a short and clear answer. Do not elaborate unless asked to. For example, if you're being asked, "Have you been to USA?" simply answer yes or no. Do not say anything like, "Yes, I've been to USA several times and I really like it." This may lead to unnecessary follow-up questions and may even cause misunderstanding. Your phrase, "I really liked it," can be interpreted as if you want to stay there longer or even move there, which is clearly not the purpose of your current application. Try to be calm and natural. Look directly at an officer and do not fidget. This may be interpreted as being nervous and that you may be hiding something or not telling the truth. Do not get anything out of your pockets or bags unless asked to, and don't make any sudden movements. This can be interpreted as a threat. For example, when crossing the border in your car, do not lean towards the back seat to get a water bottle out of your bag. An officer may see it as a possible danger. And lastly, do not try to read into why an officer is asking you a particular question, even if it seems strange or general knowledge to you. Simply answer the question. Now that we have it out of the way, here are the questions you will most likely be asked at your Nexus interview. This is based on our own experience and experience shared by our friends. First question may be general information about yourself, like your name, date of birth, and current address. Then you will most likely be asked, "Why do you need a Nexus card?" Answer may sound like, "I travel to US frequently," with a follow-up question, "Why do you go to US and how often you're planning to visit it?" This may be related to your work, having a family member or friend who lives in states, or simply, "I like to travel and explore new countries." Either one of these answers is acceptable depending on your circumstances. If you have more than one citizenship, you may be asked about when did you move to your current country of residence and why. If you're asked what do you do for work, you may give a general name of your profession or industry. For example, "I do sales in IT," or "I'm a teacher." In my case, I was asked what I studied and how my education is related to my current work. There's one example about work-related question that is touching a gray area when working for an international company with offices in many countries. As was mentioned on Reddit, a person was asked by an officer whether they work for a US company, and the person said yes. The next question was, "Do you get paid in US for your work?" The answer was yes again. To that, the officer said that since the person was employed by a US company and paid by a US company for their work, it means that they've been working in US illegally and are now banned from entering US for 5 years. Your travel history will probably get some attention from the officers as well. You might get more questions if the countries you visited are controversial, are involved in conflicts, or are considered unfriendly. Make sure to have a reasonable explanation why you went there. For example, I was asked why I went to Turkey last summer, and my answer was to meet my family. The officer officer continued with, "Couldn't your family come to Canada or you go to Russia?" Questions like this may seem illogical or even triggering to some individuals, especially immigrants who don't get a chance to see their families very often. You must try to disengage from emotions and answer the question straightforwardly. "My family don't have Canadian visas. That's why we can only meet in another country." You may be asked about your criminal record, if you had any offenses before, and so on. Remember that interviewing officers have access to information you submitted in your application as well. This includes your employment history, travel history, other citizenship you have, and so on. Do not contradict that information, as it may raise more questions. You may be asked this question directly as well. Has there been any changes to the information you provided in your application? If the information on your application is outdated, for example, you have changed your job, inform the officer about it, and they will update your file right away or will ask you to do it yourself via email before activating your Nexus card. The interview takes about 15 minutes and you will be talking directly to a US border officer. If you schedule the interview at the same time as other people in your group, you will all have a designated officer handling individual cases. Once the interview is finished, a photo of you will be taken for your profile and your Nexus card. You will be asked to provide your fingerprints. Even if you have submitted your fingerprints before, for other reasons like US visa or Canadian permanent residency application, you are still required to submit fingerprints again for Nexus application. This has been an overview of possible questions you may get asked during your Nexus interview. Of course, every case is unique and questions may be different depending on your story and an interviewing officer. Important thing to remember is to be calm, answer straightforwardly and truthfully. Good luck on your interview and let us know in the comments below if you have questions that were not mentioned in this video. It may be helpful to other applicants in the future. If you found this video useful, join our community by subscribing to this channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching. Until next time.